What's happened is that Iran has attacked Israel with multiple waves of ballistic missiles. And here's Waja coming up here almost simultaneously. We were like, oh, war's back on. And watch. It's the worst part about this is not that the war is back on. The worst that's right. Get your Afghan jihadi hat there. Um, the problem with this is that twice this week, we predicted that this would happen. Just this morning on the Black Man Spy podcast, we said that if is now that Israel has struck the Dahia districts of Beirut and are calling for an evacuation of everything south of the Zahrani River, which is 1.2 million people who've already been displaced, that Iran would most likely or could attack Israel and northern Israel and start striking at Israeli army support bases, air defense facilities, and technically act as if they are artillery in support of of Hezbollah. That's precisely what has happened in the last hour. I actually have the Israeli Air Defense Command alert on my phone. I was driving back from, a coffee session working on my memoir when I hadn't heard ballistic missile alerts in months, right? Since this war started. Suddenly, my ballistic missile alert for Tel Aviv went off, and all of northern Israel is where the concentration of alerts were after they figured out the ballistic arc of all of these missiles. So right now, what we know is there are at least 30 missiles that are coming in multiple waves. Most have been shot down thus far. Apparently, there are more than one wave. In the last hour, again, we had 5 waves of missiles. Thus far, 30 have entered Israeli airspace and were shot down by Israel's air defense forces. Hello,
I'm
Watch.
receiving I'm receiving a notification from one of my sources that says a diplomatic source says that Tehran informed Washington in advance of its intent to target open areas in northern Israel using the latter, not to take the matter too seriously.
If well, first off, not to take the matter too seriously. I don't believe that was the wording at all. And the reason I don't believe that is I have the wording from the IRGC, which I can bring up here. The messages that were put out by Mujtaba al-Khamenei, and by the way, this is the concentration of fire. These are the alert notifications for the towns and cities in northern Israel where they believed that the ballistic missiles were being fired. I have no belief and no confidence that these were fired at empty areas. Iran is not going to blister off 50 or more, however many ballistic missiles, which, by the way, would risk Israel flying back tonight. I mean, tonight, within the next 2 or 3 hours, and blasting ballistic missile launch sites, power plants, what remaining air defense sites that have been reconstituted, if not taking a shot at killing Mujtaba al-Khamenei by 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Israel time will be about 9 p.m. our time, or Tehran time would be about 9 p.m. Eastern time. So plenty of time for the Israeli Air Force to scramble and carry out Notebook Plan X-Ray 1 and blitz northwestern Iran, or launch ballistic missiles, or launch air-launched ballistic missiles.
I definitely think the Iranians have been playing a two-faced game with some of these things. On some areas, well, like why would someone come out and say it in Arabic and then I have to translate it to English? I feel like they're playing a two-faced when specifically when they're talking to Arabs. They really want to control the Arab pulse, so they'll
The
be like,
narrative, right?
"Oh, yes, they want to control the narrative." But we told the Americans it's only like a show game.
Yeah. Well, the Iranians were well prepared in advance. Here is video montage. This is video from Tehran of cheering crowds who just happened to be in the streets with flags, right? For Hezbollah and the rest. This actually says it's in Kiram Shah.
Uh, I don't know if you guys saw those two big lines or two bright things on the sky up there. Those are missiles.
Those are missiles going into space en route to Israel. So some
Did you
Iranians
see
were having a good time. Another thing, midnight on what is it? Today's Saturday, it's Sunday, right?
Sunday?
Midnight
Sunday.
Sunday, people should have been preparing to go to work the next day, but it's going to be a vacation day, a potential airstrike vacation day. And so they're out there. This is obviously staged by Tehran, to look like a spontaneous uprising or a spontaneous party where dozens of Hezbollah flags suddenly appeared out of everywhere, right? This is in Kiram Shah. This isn't even in Tehran. Ballistic missiles were flying, as you saw in that video. This is from an Israeli news source. Iran launched missiles at Israel. Third wave detected. There is already a fifth wave, likely a sixth wave of missiles going on. Ceasefire collapses is how they are characterizing this. This is video of interceptors. No, this is from Iran flying out. There's dozens of videos out there. They're all over the place of everybody um, showing missiles flying out, conducting intercepts of Iranian missiles, flying over Jordan, flying over Syria. Those dots are ballistic missiles en route to Israel. So,
The Iraqi military was informed to attack any Israeli or American
aircraft.
planes, and they have shut down their airspace officially.
Well, that ain't going to matter to the Israelis. They know all the ways in and out. They can avoid Iraq and Iraqi air defense. Okay, our Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Aerospace Force commander, the guy that survived, Majid Musavi, says the promise was fulfilled shortly after Iran launched 3 ballistic missile barrages. That was 38 minutes ago. That's how out of date this is. 7 minutes ago, they were on the 5th wave of missiles, and they likely may be firing ballistic missiles all night in an effort to hit something in Israel. The key thing is that even though Israel is small, depending on what the targets are in northern Israel, some of these interceptors in the south and central Israel may not be able to get the proper firing solution on these ballistic missiles. The IDF says thus far they have intercepted all ballistic missiles coming in. You can see this particular ballistic missile right now. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but there it is right there. And an Israeli interceptor is coming up to get it, right? So this is full-time job. I don't believe for a minute that these things were designed to hit empty zones. They were aiming at things. The IDF
That
as
wasn't
of,
my opinion. That was not my opinion. That
I
was
know
just
your source
report.
sucks. These guys, Okay, so I was just trying to get the last reports. Some of these guys are saying it was 3 waves. It was 5 waves, according to Iran. Yeah.
The
So,
Israeli minister Miki Zohar says Israel must attack Iran with force. As I said today at the government meeting, the day of conscription are over. we must move from defense to offense. I didn't know Israel was at a defense.
Yeah. So, some of you may be thinking, well, Malcolm, does this mean the United States is jumping full feet back into the war? No. But Ben-Gvir has some things to say about it. Before I get to what Donald Trump has to say about it, like Wajid just gave us one minister's opinion, here is what the hard ultra-right extremist and mouth voice of Benjamin Netanyahu has to say on it. Ben-Gvir says, Israel's far-right national security minister Itamar Ben-Gvir said, Tehran must burn. That's going to lessen things. After the Israeli army said missiles had been fired at northern Israel. Tonight, Tehran must burn. So, for those of you who think that at the end of this little show, which we're only going to do a short one, 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, and we can answer some of your questions. Then we're going to pause. And if there is another 5 or 6 barrages of missiles, or if Israel attacks tonight, which they are going to attack tonight, the question is, what are they going to hit? Because there is no way. When you got a guy like Ben-Gvir saying Tehran must burn, they're good for their word, right? On the other hand, what does Kenkel's McTaco Tits have to say about this? I stole that from Jennifer Welch, who was on my podcast, the I've Had It podcast, or the iHip News podcast she's on. That's what she calls him, Kenkel's McTaco Tits. Well, do you think Trump was going to chicken out? Or do you think he was going to go in with Israel and Ben-Gvir? Well, it took him about 10 minutes to chicken out. And here is what he had to say about this. Let me find this. We don't have the video, but we do have a quote from one of his journalists.
Barack Ravid?
No, Donald J. Trump.
Ah.
Donald Trump on Iran's ongoing ballistic missile attack on Israel. Okay, you've shot your missiles. That's enough. Get back to the table and make a deal. How well do you think this is going to go over in Israel tonight?
It's not going well. It's not. Because Barack Ravid just literally came out and said, from the voices I hear, if Israel attacks, it is not certain that it will find the U.S. on its side, and it will find itself alone in the war.
That's
this
from
is just
Barack Ravid?
4 minutes ago.
From Barack Ravid.
Yes.
AKA the stenographer of Donald Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
That guy has full access to the White House. And I'm pretty sure Trump is mad because, as we said this morning, oh, by the way, in case any of you have missed it, we predicted this very attack no less than 2 times in the last 48 hours, that if Israel, first one was, if Israel attacks Dahia and southern Lebanon, Iran is going to fire ballistic missiles in the north in support of Hezbollah. And then I said, man, it's almost like the Iranians are listening to me. And then this morning, after Dahia was bombarded, Iran put out a statement saying they would hit northern Israel with ballistic missiles in support of Hezbollah. And I believe, I'm going to go back and watch my own video today. I believe I said, pretty sure that we're going to be having the Israeli-Iran war will restart today if they do that. And 3, 2, 1, boom. But this is not intelligence analysis. This is common sense. We know the 2 players. You fire ballistic missiles into northern Israel in the middle of the night, and the Israeli Air Force is coming back for your power plants tomorrow. And Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir want to hit that power plants because they know Iran will hit the Gulf states. They would rather have the chaos than the organization. And they don't, and I really believe Barack Ravid this time. God forbid that I actually say this out loud. I believe Barack Ravid, because he is the stenographer of the White House. And I think that they're mad. I think Trump is mad. He needs a deal, desperately needs a deal, because despite all of his bullshit and lies, and that's all Trump does, he is actually listening to the oil people now. And yes, sir.
20 minutes ago, Trump said, I expected to sign a deal with Iran on Monday, Tuesday,
Bullshit.
or Wednesday, and now this takes place.
Or 2 weeks from now. Wallah.
Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but this takes place now.
Good God, he's a pathological liar. A pathological liar. This guy couldn't be the gate guard at the bases where we have our skiffs. Absolutely amazing. So, this, by the way, that quote from Trump about what I would suggest to Iran, you've shot your missiles, that's enough. Get back to the table and make a deal. That was said to Trey Yingst. Trump told Fox News that. I like this. Peace deal's going well. Expect a deal any day now. This is Trump 23 minutes ago going, all is well. There is no Americans in Baghdad. We have destroyed all of them. Freaking tanks rolling behind him. By the way, Baghdad Bob lived in my neighborhood in Abu Dhabi. His stepson was my dentist. He worked for the CIA and Saudi intelligence forever. But that all is well. Nothing going on here. Well, that brings us to the art of the taco. And Trump has now, Netanyahu, of course, and the Israeli lobby will be all over him tomorrow. But here's my next prediction, which I have been making for weeks now. Israel is going to strike Iran in such a way that Iran will bring everybody back into this game. Saudis, Emiratis, Qataris, Bahrainis, the Americans. There will be so much shit flying if they do what I suspect they're going to do, which is hit power plants. What are you seeing, Watch?
The Iranian Trump, this is just now breaking. The Iranian missiles fire didn't hit anyone. I hope Israel does not respond. If Bibi attacks them back, it'll just drag it'll drag on like it has for the last 47 years or the past 3,000.
47? What?
He said it will drag on like the last 47 years or the past 3,000 years. We are very close to a final deal with Iran. I don't want it to blow up because of what happened now. I'm about to call Bibi right now and tell him not to respond. Both of them have already done their part. Israel had its strike and Iran had its strike. We don't need another one.
Okay.
Why does, for the first time, he's sounding like the responsible person in the room?
Turning my light on so you guys can see me clearly. What did I tell you? There's two devils on Trump's shoulder. It's just that the new devil, the one that is called the global economy, where real money is about to be lost, where we could go into the 4th of July weekend, right? Where the oil inventories start to empty, and that means the prices must go up because there's no gasoline out there. And we could go into $5, $6 a gallon gas. They said the oil shock is coming. Every episode we're talking, we keep telling you, this isn't about military operations. Military operations are just an extension of the political, economic, diplomatic dimension. It's just they have louder noises and more direct results. However, war is politics by other means, according to von Clausewitz. And everything in this war is coming down to the global economy. And this is a component of it. Ay, 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 ay. Well, yeah, I think it's absolutely amazing to watch Trump beg both sides to exercise caution, which any president would have done. But Trump's demons now, I suspect that the oil and stock market and money demons are really poking him with their pitchforks and saying, hey, this thing is going to break and you will have broken it. And all of the dirty money that we made in our phony baloney jobs is going to be lost when the actual oil shock hits hard. And Israel's like, yeehaw, fuck the law. Right? You know, and Trump's having to beg them from going back and acting like regulators, going and killing everybody that they find. What do you say?
Uh, again, the person, I said this from the beginning of the war. Israel does not have any intention of slowing down. Israel is the one with the last voice in the stand because it doesn't matter how many times Trump is trying to taco or if he is trying to end the war, every time it comes to an end, there is some sort of escalation done by the Netanyahu regime ending this type of ceasefire.
Yep.
We have had a red line shown and proven to us. It's not an Obama red line like it was Syria, where he draws a red line in the sand and does nothing. No, Iran is like, we just told you if you attack our people in Lebanon, we will attack you. In fact, let me just show you what I mean by I'm gonna attack you. I'm not playing anymore. I'm not playing around anymore. And when I said that this war is going to go for at least 6 months, it's because I understand the conflict in the Middle East. There hasn't been a conflict in the Middle East that lasted for a very short period, unless it was very well studied. And it was a very short period of time, and everyone's resources was wasted because everyone went all out at the same time. This is not the case. We have a country that's hunkering down. It is a war of attrition. They have used every single tool at their disposal in a smart manner. They're bankrupt. Their smartest tool, which is a Russian tool and a Chinese tool, which is bankrupting the U.S. military. This is nothing. This is not a new idea. This is what the USSR wanted to do to the United States, and that was the USSR strategy to bring down the US military. Unfortunately, their vision to that was kind of they miscalculated. They just needed another 100 years of wasteful spending. Iran is closer to that. And they're focused and they have control over one of the most important waterways in the world where 20% of the oil flows. And the fact is, 20% is too much. The world depends on that. 90%
Yep.
of the world oil that goes to China, we're not dependent. The United States is not dependent on that oil, but we're dependent on countries that are 100% dependent on that oil. Therefore, we're dependent on that oil.
Yep.
But we have miscalculated. We thought it would be an overnight stay where we take out the supreme leader. But what they didn't know, it is much bigger than Afghanistan. It has much larger mountain terrains that looks like Afghanistan, looks like a park.
Yep.
And then
That's
in addition to that, they have all of their mountains that we thought we destroyed. They miscalculated the 50,000 psi, miscalculated the 500 meters inside the mountain, not 50 meters,
under the
500.
mountain. I
So,
know,
like, you
500
think
meters.
of all of that, and you're doing the math, and you're like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're wasting all of our money. We literally used 50% of our precision rockets either to protect our Israel, ourselves, or to hit rocks.
Yep.
Rocks.
I know. All right. Well, for those of you who are here watching it, again, I'm going to recap and then we're going to sign off until something more dramatic happens. But what's happened here is in the last hour, Iran has bombarded Israel with 5 waves of ballistic missiles. But unlike all the previous attacks, all of these missiles are concentrated in northern Israel and along the Israeli-Lebanese border, right where we predicted and Iran said that they would do it in support of Hezbollah's combat operations. The only thing I find surprising, Waj, is that Hezbollah didn't launch 100 rockets themselves towards Tel Aviv. You know, it's almost like Iran says, sit this one out. It's up with the big boys now. Now it's between nation states on this one. And of course, Trump is already tacoing. He's desperate for a deal. This bullshit about we were going to have a deal tomorrow suddenly pops out of his mouth, or Wednesday, or 2
Or
weeks.
well,
Tuesday. He left Tuesday
Iraqi,
open for Taco Tuesday.
Iraqi armed groups to the United States, any American intervention in Iran-Israel war will result in attack on Israeli bases and interests across Iraq and the region.
Okay. Let's go to a couple of questions. Jennifer says, uh-oh, this doesn't sound like good news. I love it, Jennifer. Mwah. Yeah. Okay. Not good news. None of this. Cash Flow Collector says, why are airports closing down? Because when ballistic missiles fly, you deconflict civil airliners from surface-to-air missiles, which could shoot them down. We saw that happen in Tehran in the first war of the cities after October 7th. They shot down a Ukrainian airliner that was scheduled to take off, taking off from Tehran. When you're in a radar booth, you don't care. Shit's in the air, you start shooting. Have any of the Iranian missiles actually landed hits? Not as far as we can tell. Look, they would have to shoot 500, right, to start landing
Send
hits.
level 50 drones as well.
I'm sure. Well, that's just give the Israeli Air Force a fucking fighter intercept exercise. It takes 2.5 hours for those drones to get there. Can't wait till the orange deranged POS can convert felon is out of office. All right, thanks. Just quit having too much fun inflicting pain to quit. Yeah, they are. Not targeting the Israeli Defense Forces in South Lebanon. I'm sure they were trying to hit their support bases and military bases. Any chance of triggering a total war strategy? No. The big issue now is, will Israel try to destroy Iran's energy infrastructure? Yeah. All right. Is Israel's IDF super laser defense up? Yes. Yeah, it's up, but you can only shoot one thing at a time, and it does not shoot ballistic missiles. It only shoots drones. All right. We're going to call it here. If there's anything else that happens in a large way, we will save it for tomorrow morning. Unless the United States and Israel gets involved seriously, you never know. A missile could hit a U.S. base, and then Trump will have to open the little playbook. He, though, appears very desperate to make sure that this thing ends. So, with that, thanks for watching. I can't tell how many of you there are. The number count ended at 1. I know there's at least a couple of hundred. What are you seeing there, Watch? Can you tell me how many people are on the count?
No, I can't. It's not.
I can't either. Mine says 1. So I'd like to thank that one of you. I know there's more of you. I already looked up your names. There's hundreds of you out there. All right. Go ahead and post your questions down at the Warcast. And somebody says Carsbo needs a microphone. Okay. I didn't know he was up. This is late for
What's
him,
up,
right?
Barbara?
Is he here?
Welcome.
Is Jacob here? I didn't see him.
Yeah, Jacob.
Oh, you know what? I'm not getting any of the messages either that are scrolling, the chat scrolling. I'm not getting any of that. All right, 1,100 viewers. Thank you, Julie Harvey.
No.
All right. Thanks again. We will pause this. We will watch it. If there is 7, 8, 9, 10 by 10, 9 o'clock tonight, if it appears that Israel's in total war with Tehran, we will launch a new emergency cast because you need to know that. Nothing. What will happen to the Bab el Mandab? We will have to see about that. All right, everybody.
Well, it
See you
depends how much
hopefully
escalation is on
tomorrow.
the Israeli government.
What?
What happens to Bab al-Mandab depends on the type of escalation that happens tonight.
Iran is going to sit on this for now. I think they're gonna. But if Israel hits power plants in Iran, all bets are off for this war. The United States will have to come in on Israel's side, and we'll see. Trump is very, very clearly does not want this to escalate because he needs a peace deal because the actual money men are looking over his shoulders. And we could be talking about economic collapse in the matter when that oil shock hits. All right. And on that happy note, thank you for watching Black Man Spy. Please, if you are not a paid subscriber, join as a paid subscriber. I would really appreciate that. We may be having a subscriber only chat tomorrow. We shall see. But in the meantime, pay attention to these alerts when you get them because I don't do these because they're for fun. I was trying to finish my copy edited version of my memoir. I got like 100 questions I have to answer for the copy editors. And I thought I was having a nice, quiet Sunday afternoon when this happened. Okay. See you tomorrow, Waj. Inshallah.
See you tomorrow in the morning.
Inshallah.
God willing.
God willing. All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Have a good one. Oh, I have to exit as well.